All right, now I assume the clerk is taking the roll.
Yes.
All right, at this time we have Supervisor Lightnum, who will do the invocation today to ask the body to please rise and then remain standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Good morning.
Morning.
Let us pray. Lord, grant supervisors the empathy, patience, and courage to debate and decide wisely the issues of the day, always bearing in mind the greatest good for the greatest number. And grant county staff and employees that same patience and empathy to provide services as needed to the 74,000 people who call Wood County home. This we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first thing to dispense with here is the minutes from the previous session. Certainly entertain a motion to that effect. We have a motion by Wagner. We have a second by Bry. Any discussion on the minutes? Any discussion on the minutes? Supervisor Hamilton.
Mr. Chairman, my iPad can't connect this here.
We'll get IT over there, ready to help you out there. We're going to do this by voice vote, though. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Look at that. All right, seeing no discussion, all in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
And opposed, and that motion carries. Thank you. We have no excusals today. We have no resignations today under appointments. We have a couple today, the South Central Library Board of Trustees, term ending December 31st of 2023, Susan Feith, and the Wood County Library Board, term ending May 31st of 2026, Betsy Mansell. And again, I have a motion by Supervisor Clendenning. I have a second by Supervisor Lightnum. Any discussion? All in favor of those two appointments, please signify by aye.
Aye.
And opposed? And again, that motion carries. Thank you. And congratulations to those two appointees. Public comment. Is there any public comment today? Any public comment? Okay, I see none there. Acknowledgement and recognition. We have recognition of some long-term employees today. The first person up here today, I'm going to call on Brandon Brewing. Brandon, you have a few here from Human Services, as well as, I don't believe Marissa was here unless she just walked in the last minute, as well as Norwood. If you want to do those, it would be greatly appreciated.
They changed their mind.
Trying to sort through who's here, who isn't here, and who's being recognized. Randy, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Sounds like it's on. You guys hear me okay?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we are going to start with the 30-year mark and we'll work our way back down to 25 years. We have 3 recognitions from the Human Services Department today. The first person that I want to recognize is Joanne Borski. Joanne has 30 years of service. She's an accountant with our Human Services Department. Joanne was not able to be here today. She is back working on the budget. So that's where the season that we're in right now, so she's working diligently on that. But I want to recognize Joanne. She is a tireless worker and does an excellent job. Definitely has a great accountant mindset, and we certainly appreciate all of her years of service and look forward to continuing to work with her over the next several years. So next, I am going to ask Christina Pilat to come forward. Christina has 25 years of service, and Christina works in our Birth to 3 program. So she's working with children and helping them, kids that need a little extra help as they begin in life. So Christina is one of the most genuine people you will ever meet in your life. She is a tremendous social worker. She's a social worker at heart. And that really embodies what we do as a Human Services Department. I have the pleasure of just working down the hall from her, so we have an opportunity to check in every once in a while and share some stories. And it's just amazing to me the passion that she has for her work, passion she has for her family. I'm proud to continue to call her a coworker. So Christina, I want to thank you very much for all you've done and all that you will continue to do for our department. And lastly, in the Human Services Department, we'll be recognizing Denise Jeffers for 25 years of service. Denise is an economic support supervisor. She works on the south end of the Riverwalk building. We also have an economic support supervisor in Marshfield as well. I've had the pleasure of working with Denise over my 16 and a half years here with Wood County. So Denise would like to say that she helped train me when I first started, but that's not quite accurate. She has trained a lot of people over the years and done a really excellent job. Denise started as an economic support worker in our social services department and moved into an economic support supervisor position about 7 years ago. Denise has a great attention to detail. She takes pride in her work. She ensures that our customers get the benefits that they need and does her job with great integrity. It has been a pleasure to work with Denise over the last 16 and a half years, and really want to congratulate her for 25 years of service. Also want to make mention of one thing. Denise did celebrate a milestone birthday this past weekend. So congratulating her on her birthday, and she didn't want me to disclose what number it is, so I won't. But Denise, I want to genuinely thank you for your years of service, and it's a pleasure working with you.
Brandon, while I got you up there, I don't think Marissa snuck in the back of the room.
Okay.
And I think we have an award here for Crystal Barshow as well.
Okay, we couldn't find it. Okay, well, we'll make sure she gets it, but I will.
Okay.
Lastly, we're going to recognize Crystal Barshow. Crystal works in our kitchen at Norwood Health Center. She's been here for 25 years. Over the years, she has continued to rise in her leadership role. Right now, she's one of the leaders in the kitchen. And one thing you may not all know is that at Norwood, we produce meals for thousands of meals a year, not just for the folks that are staying at Norwood Health Center, but also for our programs with the ADRC. So we do delivered meals and produce those and send some up to Wausau and some into Wood County as well. So we produce thousands and thousands of meals every year, and we've continued to see our revenue grow as a result of that. So Crystal is a large part of that, and I want to congratulate her for her 25 years and her continued desire to help the kitchen improve. So thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Brandon. Sue, come from it. Sue is the health director for Wood County. Probably 6 other titles that go after that, or designations.
All right, good morning, everybody. I'm here to recognize Mai Tao. Mai was planning on being here today, but she is feeling under the weather, and I thought it best that she not be around any of us for a little bit. But Mai has been with the health department for 25 years, and she started in our Women, Infants, and Children program as a part-time bilingual work, performing general office and interpretation work for the WIC program. The position evolved into a full-time support to all health department program areas, and eventually was reclassified as a program coordinator. Mai always looked for ways to improve program efficiencies within our department and step in where she could take on a leadership role. We noticed significant confidence in her abilities as she transitioned from a position that was very structured and delegated work expectations to one that required significantly more autonomy and independence. It's been extremely rewarding and inspiring to me to watch Mai's growth over the last 16 years that I've been able to work with her in our department. So here's a really quick snapshot of some of her accomplishments. She completed bilingual competent professional authority or CPA training and provides certified interpretation for our department. And as a bilingual CPA, Mai, even as a paraprofessional, is able to provide nutrition education to our WIC families that come in. She's a breastfeeding peer counselor and an active member and leader of our breastfeeding coalition. She attended training to become First Breath program lead. First Breath is a smoking cessation program for pregnant women that we do within our department. She's a certified car seat technician. She's a trusted liaison between our Hmong community and the health department, which enhances our ability to work closely with this population and has grown our relationships in so many valuable ways. She joined our immunization team to help our nurses develop better solutions to keeping our kids current with their childhood immunizations. As a member of the countywide employee feedback group, she represents our department well with tact and professionalism. She serves as the farmers market manager. During the COVID pandemic, Mai has stepped up to lend major assistance with contact tracing and disease investigations, maintaining a positive attitude and willingness to adapt to changing roles throughout the pandemic. Most recently, Mai was promoted to a community health worker and is now responsible for developing community partnerships, leading outreach efforts, helping individuals navigate and access community services and other resources and adopt healthy behaviors. Mai is the go-to person for many projects and effectively handles having multiple balls in the air at any given time. She's respectful of all, is always kind and courteous, and is simply a wonderful human being. We are blessed to have her as a member of our health department family. I really wish she could be here because 25 years, she must have started when she was 12. She's amazing. So thank you, Mai, and I encouraged her to watch this morning, and I'll share my words with her at another time. Thank you.
Sheriff Becker.
You ready to be embarrassed?
I tried to do French one the whole time, but they wouldn't let me.
Not a chance.
I know.
True pleasure and honor to be here to represent or recognize, Sarah McCormick. Our careers kind of started around the same time. Sarah started in our part-time program, our Reserve Deputy program in 1993, and then took a full-time position with the Sheriff's Department as a corrections officer in 96. While in our jail, she was one of our supervisors, and she also was a field trainer. She was then got the opportunity to work the road. She was one of our first corrections officers that we gave the opportunity to transition into working in the patrol division. I had the honor and pleasure to train Sarah, and I've got lots of really good memories of when I had that opportunity. I won't call you what magnet that I'm thinking of, but Sarah had the knack of getting into things, and we never got home on time during that whole training period. But she did outstanding work in our patrol division, and then was in 2011 promoted to the investigation division, where she worked many years. And she had probably one of the toughest jobs in our investigation division, dealing with all of the crimes against children. So she established some really strong working relationships with human services, but she had some really tough investigations that you can imagine. But she did outstanding work, again, creating a lot of good working relationships with other agencies within Wood County and others as well. While in the patrol division, she was also part of our special response team. She was selected by the team as our lead negotiator, where she was on the team for many, many years. She also is our department representative for Project Lifesaver. That's a very, very important program. It started many, many years ago with a tragedy, and she's been our department representative, again, creating some strong working relationships to make sure that the the vulnerable community is safe with that program. She works close with the Wood County Rescue, all of our fire departments within the county, and again, with human services. Sarah now is working down in our courthouse security, so many of you are familiar with her smiling face.
Everyone.
She's doing an outstanding job. So thank you so much, Sarah. It's a true honor to stand up here and recognize you for the 25 years of dedicated service to the Sheriff's Department. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I'm good.
And although we recognize one already, we are now into 30 years plus of service. And at this time, I would call on, we have a recognition from Edgewater. Kyle, are you here out there? Kyle, if you come forward.
Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? All right, well, I just want to first thank the board for giving me the opportunity. This is my first time getting to recognize anyone at our building, so I'm pretty excited to be here today. I'm going to start with Casey, who is receiving her 25-year recognition, and then I'm going to go to Jenny, who's receiving her 30-year recognition. So just to put it in perspective, when I was driving here today, I was really thinking about this and just thinking that both of these people have been working at Edgewater longer than I've been alive. So it's pretty exciting to see that tenure within our building. So Casey again is receiving her 25-year recognition. Casey has worked her way up within the nursing department at Edgewater Haven. Currently she is the nursing supervisor, which is the second highest role you can attain within the nursing department. Casey supports the nursing team daily and then is really our behind the scenes person with care planning and making sure that the residents have everything we need documented so that we are good when state walks in. So I appreciate her forever for that. Likewise, one story I want to tell about Casey is when I was interviewing for the position, I asked some questions at the end, and my first one was, why do I want to work at Edgewater? Why should I come here? And I put Casey on the spot, so she was the lucky one that got to go first. And Casey said that she has always been at Edgewater, she will always be at Edgewater because Edgewater is family. And I can't tell you what that meant to me when I was walking out of that interview and thinking, well, if I get the opportunity to come here, I will for sure take it, because you don't hear people talk like that anymore in any capacity, let alone skilled nursing. So congratulations to Casey, I'll give you this, and thank you for everything you've done, everything you'll continue to do. Next, I'll move to Jenny Patron. Jenny is recognized after 30 years of service. Jenny is our longest tenured CNA in the building. And Jenny has worked in multiple capacities within the building. She worked as a restorative aide, helping with people maintaining the highest ability they could, making sure that their ADLs continued walking, dressing, that sort of thing. Jenny currently is working on our memory care wing, and I cannot describe the compassion that it takes to come in and day out, let alone for 30 years as a nurse aide, but especially on the memory care unit. One of my favorite parts of the day is going around and making rounds within the building, and even through the mask, Jenny always has a smile on her face, which I can appreciate. So I want to thank Jenny for all she's done and all she will continue to do for the county. Thank you.
Supervisor Curry, if you would come forward. The 30-year recognition of the department.
Huh? Okay, Shane, come on up here. I'm all by myself. Good morning, everybody. We're here to recognize one of our long-term employees. I didn't know he was that old. We must have started very young, but I see there's a lot of 30-year people that started when they were 15, 16 years old. I thought the one lady, well, I shouldn't even say this, but she should be proud to be 30 years old, not to. So anybody attending the seed meeting, and the seed meeting covers a lot of different, 3 different departments, and asking Shane a question on land conservation certainly knows the amount of knowledge he has on that issue. Sometimes he gives more than we actually want. One job that land conservation has is assist the agricultural industry to protect the environment. But that's not the only thing they do. The benefit is also to the county as a whole. Nobody wants to live in a county or an area that the environment isn't good, the water isn't good, that's good for economic development. So land conservation crosses a lot of different issues. Shane is an asset to the county. He's been for 30 years. I want to congratulate him on this event in his life. And hopefully he gets another 30, right? We'll see. Okay.
Yeah, think Trent probably arranged this.
I knew you couldn't.
Shane doesn't have to go far.
Lori?
Last presentation today, we had,
No, you could say, I've got something to say about Lori. Is Lori here or is she actually?
No.
She's actually working. Lori is the engine of land conservation. Certainly Shane and his staff does a good job, but if you walk in the office, Lori's been there for 30 years. She's a valued employee to land conservation.
Good morning. Yeah, I'd like to take the time and recognize Lori Reese. She's been with the county for 35 years. Truly defines the word dedicated employee. She has not spent all 35 years in land conservation. She's been a victim witness when she started her career. But I have been fortunate to spend at least 30 years of my time with Lori. She's one of these individuals that just keeps everything ticking, everything running smoothly. Our timekeeper, I have a small staff of 6 and she is just outstanding. She's one of those individuals that if you could clone an employee, she would be cloned because she just is absolutely great in all respects. She's a native of Wisconsin Rapids. She raised her 2 kids here, sent them off through college, and is now a grandmother of several grandkids and building her first brand new home. So finally can get a little back for herself for all her hard work and dedication over the years. So with that, I'd like to recognize her for 35 years of service, and I hope it doesn't end there. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon, and I'm hoping she sticks around for a few more years. So thank you. I'll see that she gets this.
thank you. You know, there are several long-term employees in that 35-year range that, for whatever reason, whether it be other commitments, chose not to be recognized here today, but want to know that their contributions do not go unnoticed, as well as the contribution of all those who work for Wood County. We do have an outstanding group of, an outstanding workforce, and I'm very proud of it. So thank you very much. Thank you to those who are recognized today, and those others who will receive their awards within their departments. So thank you so much. All right, moving on today. We get into the packet here. Referrals. We have none today. Yesterday was the Wisconsin County Association Resolution and Laws Committee, although we had no referrals here today to deal with. Supervisor Clendenning served on that committee, and he did so very, very well, as I spoke to him earlier. Bill, I want to thank you for your service there and representing Wood County. All right, Operations Committee, beginning on page 7, running through page 9, Tuesday, August 3rd. Anybody have any questions there? On to page 10, monthly letter of comments from our County Clerk, Trent Minor. Pages 11 through 15, monthly letter of comments from the Human Resources Department. Page 16, comments from the Treasurer's Office. Employee Wellness on 17. And that brings us to the first resolution in the packet. It is on page 18, and there's accompanying documents that run all the way through page 30. So I'd ask the clerk to please read the resolution.
This will be Resolution 21-8-1. Resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of $61,500,000 note anticipation notes.
Okay, I have a motion by Hamilton. I have a second by LaFontaine. Any discussion on the resolution? Supervisor Winch?
Push it down.
Hello, this morning.
You got it.
Next Minister, how come we have one resolution instead of 2? We're borrowing 61.5. I understand that. But I think it ought to be 2 motions.
I'll let Supervisor Wagner answered that it's economy of scale, design.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the reasons that we're doing it this way is, first of all, it's more economical. It saves us somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 on every. And the second reason is that basically it can all be considered the same. So we could cover, as it was explained to me this morning rather well in the operations meeting, was that all those monies could be used for CIP if necessary, or depending on what was going on. This is the first time we've done something like this, but it's a pretty good deal. And I think I want to thank our financial consultants for looking out after our best welfare. Thank you.
Just a second, I'll go right back to you, Bill, just one second. Is there any other? Back to you, Supervisor Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know how you get to say that he's taking any money. He has been any mention of an instrument. Interest rate yet. You haven't gotten the interest rate yet.
Supervisor Wagner.
Yeah, we budgeted for much like a 2%, but the actual number is coming in at 0.66%. So that's probably one of the best. I think that beats our record, doesn't it, Mr. Chairman? I think 0.7 is the best we ever did before. So our bond rating is excellent, and it's being reflected in our interest rates.
So just to clarify, when we looked at this and we did the projections, we were assuming an interest rate, we were very conservative, 1.2%, we came in at 0.66. If that answers that question. Any further discussion? Further discussion? Ready, Trent? I'd ask you to please vote. That resolution passed 18-1, 18-1. Thank you. All right, moving on in the packet, this is going to jump all the way to page 31 because of all the accompanying documentation with that last one, page 31. This resolution deals with stale dated checks.
This will be Resolution 21-8-2. To cancel stale dated checks as recommended by the auditor, set checks from the county general account as per the Office of County Treasurer. Fiscal note, as per the resolution, the total to be canceled is $1,830.46.
I have a motion by Hamilton, a second by Bry. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Any discussion? I'd ask you again to please vote. And that resolution passed 19-0. Moving forward in your packet, you have two resolutions that deal with the sale of tax deed property. I'd like to take those together without objection. Is there any objection to taking the two tax deed resolutions together? All right, seeing none, I'd ask the clerk to please read both of those resolutions.
This will be Resolution 21-8-3. Authorize the sale of tax deed property back to the former owner. Fiscal note, the paid amount is $1,832.18. Resolution 21-8-4 on page 34 to authorize the sale of tax deed property back to the former owner. Paid amount is $8,032.96.
And I have a motion by Clendenning to approve, a second by Hamilton. Any discussion on the resolutions? Any discussion? Please vote. And again, that resolution passed unanimously. All right, moving on to the packet, Health and Human Service Committee meeting of July 22nd on pages 35 and 36. Pages 37 through 39, Wood County Human Services Department public hearing of August 3rd, 37 through 39. The annual meeting of the North Central Community Action Board, 40 and 41. 40 and 41. Monthly update from the Health Department beginning on 42 and runs through page 46. Staff reports from Human Services start on 47 and run through page 53. 47 through 53. Let everybody catch up there for a second. Veteran Service Officers Report, pages 54 and 55. And then we go back to minutes of the Seed Committee, their meeting from Tuesday, July 20th on 56, 7, and 8. Seed Committee's regular monthly meeting, August 4th, beginning on page 59, and that runs all the way through page 64, 59 through 64. North Central ITBEC Board meeting of Thursday, May 27th on 65, 6, and 7. Report from Extension, 68 through 71. And then the monthly report from our Land and Water Conservation Department, beginning on 72. And those staff reports run through page 78. Everybody caught up here? You haven't had a chance with any resolutions to really take a breath here. All right. Planning and Zoning report from the department, beginning with Director Hindenburg's on 79. And that runs through page 84. The Citizens Groundwater Group meeting of Monday, July 19th, beginning on 85 and running through page 87. We have Wood County Economic Development Funding requests, plural, beginning on page 88, and those run through 98. I know the Seed Committee's been going through these diligently, 88 through 98. And then that brings us to the resolution on page 99 in your packet.
This will be Resolution 21-8-5 to approve a zoning amendment to the Town of Grand Rapids official zoning map. Fiscal note, no cost to Wood County. The Town of Grand Rapids is responsible for any costs associated with administering their town zoning ordinance.
Okay, I have a motion by Clendenning. I have a second by Lightnum. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Any discussion on this resolution? Please vote. Again, that resolution passed unanimously. Page 100, minutes of the Judicial and Legislative Committee of July 20th. Same committee, their regular monthly meeting, August 5th on 101, 102, and 103. Report from the Child Support Agency, their monthly update on 104. Corporate Councils on 105. We have just some documentation here on some complaints filed and or notice of injury and claims beginning on 106. The first one and running through 112, just a brief for supervisors. We have another claim on 113 and 114. And then that brings us to the next resolution in the packet. This begins on page 115 with some supporting documentation through page 116. If the clerk would please read the resolution.
This will be Resolution 21-8-6 to cancel stale dated checks and undeliverable deposits as recommended. Said deposits and checks from the unclaimed trust account as per the Office of Clerk of Circuit Court. Fiscal note, as per resolution, total to be canceled is $6,338.53.
Thank you, and I have a motion by Supervisor Fire, a second by Supervisor Hamilton. Any discussion on this resolution? All right, I'd ask you to please vote. Again, that resolution passed unanimously 19-0. Moving on in the packet, page 170, minutes of the Highway Infrastructure and Recreation Committee of July 20th. And then their regular monthly meeting on August 5th, beginning on 118 and running through 122. 118 through 122. Got a monthly update from Roland Hawk, our Highway Commissioner, on 123 and 124. Update from the Park and Forestry Department, beginning with Director Schoolies on 125 and running through page 129. Page 130 and 131, minutes of the Property Information Technology Committee of July 20th. And then their regular monthly meeting on August 2nd, pages 132, 133, and 134. Monthly update from Information Technology, Director Croups 135 through 138. Letter of comments from Ruben Van Tassel, our Facilities Manager, on 139 and 140. And then we have a resolution on page 141.
This will be Resolution 21-8-7 to formally reconstitute the Jail Study Committee to be the Jail Construction Committee and to designate the authority of the committee and the Facilities Manager. Fiscal note, none. The allocation of funds for the new jail has already been approved by the county board. This resolution designates a chain of command for the expenditure of those funds.
And I have a motion by Supervisor Hamilton, second by Supervisor Bride. Any discussion on the resolution? All right, seeing none, please vote. Supervisor Zerflu, your vote's not included. And that resolution passed 18-1. Thank you. All right, moving on, page 142, 3 and 4 in your packet, Aging and Disability Resource Center, their board meeting of Thursday, June 10th. Their Finance Committee meeting minutes on 145 and 146. McMillan Memorial Library, their Building and Grounds Committee of July 27th on 147 and 148. The McMillan Memorial Library Board of Trustees on June 16th on 149, 50, and 51. South Central Library System Board of Trustees of 624, and that's on 152, 3, and 4. And then that brings me to the resolution, page 155 in your packet, and this came forth from the seed committee earlier today.
This will be Resolution 21-8-8 to set the number of supervisory districts at 19. Fiscal note, none.
I have a motion by Fire, I have a second by Hamilton. Any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion? Please vote. Won't work, Bill? We'll get somebody over there to give you a hand here. Never liked that thing anyway, did you? That resolution passed unanimously. And then page 156 in your packet. Let's try to catch up here for a second. Final resolution in the packet.
This will be resolution, no, it's not the final resolution, Mr. Chairman. This will be Resolution 21-8-9 to set the county funding for Wood County Libraries for 2022 at the same amount as 2021, that being $1,111,339. Fiscal note, none. The resolution is only a directive of the county board for the operations committee to set the library funding for 2022 the same as 2021. The county board will retain the ability to determine the final amounts via the 2022 budget process.
And motion by Supervisor Hamilton, second by Supervisor LaFontaine. Any discussion? Any discussion? All right, I'd ask you to vote. Got passed unanimously, and then since I said it was the last, but we have the long-term employee recognition to go. Trent?
This will be Resolution 21-8-10 to recognize the Wood County employees listed below for years of devoted and faithful service to Wood County.
And I have a motion by Supervisor Fire, a second by Supervisor LaFontaine. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
And that carried unanimously. I won't even ask it on the other side. Thank you very much. Couple of quick items here that I just wanted to touch on. You know, we get questions every day, and since Supervisor Clendenning was down in Madison yesterday as well, we don't have a lot of clarification yet on where we can spend ARPA money. We have some pretty good ideas. A number of our department heads have joined us on those leadership calls every morning. We're looking to fine tune that. And one of the things that I'm looking for, and I did speak to Supervisor Clendenning in regard to his relation with the Towns Association, but we have 14.1 million roughly here. The interesting part is we have about $22 million countywide. And there probably are some ways that we can leverage some of that spending to make things happen that would be advantageous to residents of not only those individual municipalities, local units of government, but the county as well. So we're looking at those opportunities as they arise. The other thing I'd like to do is we've looked at our borrowing capacity and what we're going to do this year in CIP. We still have a gap between where we need to be as what we set as our limit and where we are. And committees under the direction, well, those departments under the direction of their committee chairs have come back and made some recommendations, and they typically rank things kind of, you know, critical, urgent, desirable, you know, so on and so forth. And I guess what I'd like all those committees to do under the direction of the department heads is even go back and rate those, if you have a couple that are urgent, a few that are necessary, to rank those 1 through whatever. Some have 5 requests, 6, 7, or 8. Kind of rank those and see where we're at. As I say that, as we're looking at ARPA money, there's a significant amount of money that's being requested for HVAC systems in a number of our buildings. Those are somewhat generational in nature. We replace those every 25, 30, or more years in some cases. And we really truly believe, although we're looking for final guidance from Treasury, that some of that is going to go that direction. We're going to be able to take care of it in that respect. But when push comes to shove, at the end of the day, if we have to make tough decisions, we'd like to do that in concert with the committees, under the direction of the committee chairs, and then those departments. So I'd like the committees to go back, look at that CIP, and rank those. If you have 2 things that are urgent, let us know it's 1 and 2. And then as we sit down and finalize these, we'll bring those committee chairs in again, as we have an operations committee, and we'll see what we have to cut if we can't come up with adequate amounts. Supervisor Roser.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate those comments. You know, my only thought is, as we talk about some of this prioritization, is that if we prioritize things lower than maybe they should be and something happens, then we're looking at contingency funding for some of these things, because many of the projects that we have under the department that departments that my oversight committees don't control it, but has, you know, oversight, are things that are related to aging. I mean, we've got some things that are original boilers and chillers and things like that. And my only fear is that we have to be prepared for maybe going to contingency if something just becomes emergent and we have to replace it and don't include it in CIP.
You're absolutely right. And I had conversations last week. I was up in the finance department and we talked about some of these things. Our contingency fund this year has not yet been touched. That's a good thing, because things always come up that are emergent. And then we're looking at where do we set that next year? How do we address those types of issues? What do we look at that is, I'll call it again, generational spending, where we may be much better off expending ARPA money to do that instead of, you know, taking on fairly significant repairs. And then the other, I'll call it educated guess that we work with, is where we can be on sales tax revenue last year. And we know we're doing very well this year. Last year we had a huge surprise. We thought that would be down, but local spending, you know, far exceeded that discretionary spending that might have happened at, I say it all the time and probably get a letter directly from Disney, but you know, people didn't go to Disney or on cruises or other places, vacations, they spent it in Wood County. Likewise, we're seeing that same kind of spending this year here. That coupled with the inflationary pressures we have, which, you know, when you see prices increase, our share of sales tax also goes up. And I'm guessing that we're going to plug in a number somewhere in the upper $6 million range next year, you know, 6.8 to 6.9. Eventually in 2022 and in 2022, we expect to see some payment coming in regard to the solar project. And then how do we maybe start to allocate that to long-term projects, and, you know, maybe it's economic development where we allocate part of that to those specific efforts in the long run. But we're looking at all those pieces. I know the chairman of the finance committee, Supervisor Wagner, talks to finance often. Like I said, I was up there last Thursday kind of looking at some of this. and trying to figure out where we go next. I guess I'm saying this to the public more than just our general, to the board. The longer we go into the year, the more clear that view into that crystal ball becomes. You know, we really see where we are on health spend, wages, and some of the other things. And we've had some pretty big concessions already from the Sheriff's Department made a real valiant effort here, along with a number of others where we've already found about $400,000 of additional savings. So I want to thank you. That's where we're headed. Does anybody have any questions? Questions? All right, we'll keep working on this. I thank you all for your participation, and we will declare the meeting adjourned. So, hang on, Supervisor Ashbeck has his hand up. All right, Supervisor Ashbeck.
Thank you, Chairman. The Marshall Fair will start next Tuesday, so in case anybody interested, just like other years, if you want to 11 o'clock and you want to have fair food, you get a wristband, and then you got to be out by 1 o'clock till you get your money back. So that's
Announce it to the public.
Okay, I'm not sure everybody heard Supervisor Ashbeck, but I repeat that. What he's saying is the fair's coming up. Make sure you attend. Bobby, want to do that again with the microphone?
Is it better?
Yes.
Yeah, Marshall's Fair starts next Tuesday, and it'll be like other years. If you come there 11 o'clock and you want to buy dinner, you'll get a wristband. You have to pay your commission, but you have to be out by 1 o'clock in order to get your money back. So that's one promotion. It does help us because we do get percentage of the profit from the concession stand. So otherwise, everything else will be like normal, like other years. So.
Supervisor Fire. As long as there's good announcements.
Along that line with the fair, I'd like to announce that if you want to see the new emergency government trailer that we purchased, it's going to be on display at the fair. WDLB is going to use it as a announcing, so he'll announce it over the air. And we're offering vaccinations, I think, on Saturday from 3 to 6. So we're going to allow people to come and get a vaccination at the fair. So nice. Aren't we? Just bend over and take the needle. Thank you.
And Supervisor Clendetti.
Thank you. While we're doing invitations,
PSAs.
if you want to see that trailer before the fair, you can come to the Towns Association on Friday night at the town of Siegel. We'll have it there so you can really get a good look at it. Thank you.
Anybody want to trump that?
I don't have anything for it, just wanted to raise my hand.
Okay, I thought you had inclusive prior to.
Nah, Bill get mad.
All right, nothing else? All right, y'all have a safe trip home, safe travels. Thank you very much.